The cantina on Zerion Station buzzed with the usual mix of species from across the galaxy. Neon lights cast an eerie glow over scales, fur, and chitinous exoskeletons as beings from 100 worlds conducted business, traded stories, and occasionally settled disputes. In one corner booth, two unlikely companions sat nursing their drinks. Zixthon was a Veltar, one of the galaxy's most peaceful species. Standing barely 4 feet tall with iridescent blue skin and large, gentle eyes, her people were known throughout the sector as natural healers and philosophers. They had never developed weapons beyond simple tools, believing that violence corrupted the soul. This philosophy had served them well on their peaceful homeworld, but made them easy targets among the stars. Across from her sat Sarah Chen, a human from Earth. She wore the simple gray jumpsuit of a freight hauler, her dark hair pulled back in a practical ponytail. To most aliens in the cantina, she appeared unremarkable. Just another member of the newest species to join the galactic community. Humans had only achieved faster-than-light travel 50 years ago, making them relative newcomers to the cosmic stage. The medical supplies should reach your colony within 3 standard cycles, Sarah said, sliding a data pad across the table. My ship's not the fastest, but she's reliable. Zixthon's translator device rendered her melodic language into standard galactic. Your kindness honors my people, Sarah Chen. The children suffering from the plague will live because of this. What neither of them noticed was the group of Korthak pirates at the bar who had been watching them. The Korthak were apex predators from a death world, 8 feet of muscle, claws, and attitude. Their species had built an empire on intimidation and violence, and they viewed the peaceful Veltar as easy prey. The largest Korthak, his scarred hide marked with the insignia of a raid captain, approached their table. His companions followed, forming a threatening semicircle. The cantina's background chatter died away as other patrons sensed trouble brewing. Well, well, the captain rumbled, his voice like grinding stone. A little blue bird far from her nest, his yellow eyes fixed on Zixthon, who shrank back in fear. I hear your people carry valuable biodata in your neural cores. My ship's computer could use an upgrade. Sarah's hand tightened around her drink, but she remained seated. Walk away, she said quietly. The Korthak captain laughed, a sound like breaking glass. The little human thinks she can give orders. He reached out with one clawed hand toward Zixthon. This doesn't concern your species' soft skin. Run along before. Don't touch my friend. The words were spoken softly, but something in Sarah's tone made every predator species in the cantina freeze. The captain's hand stopped inches from Zixthon's shoulder. Around the room, conversations died completely. Even the bartender, a grizzled, Centaurian veteran, looked up from his bottles with sudden attention. Sarah stood slowly, and for the first time the Korthak captain really looked at her. He saw the careful way she moved like a coiled spring. He noticed the small scars on her knuckles and the alert set of her shoulders. Most tellingly, he saw her eyes, not the panicked fear he expected, but the cold calculation of a predator, evaluating threats. You know what's funny about being the new species? Sarah continued conversationally, taking a step closer to the towering alien. Everyone assumes they know what we're capable of. They look at our size, our technology, our brief history in space, and they make assumptions. The captain's hand slowly withdrew. His companions, sensing his uncertainty, began to shift nervously. But see, here's the thing about humans. Sarah's voice remained level, almost friendly. We didn't make it to the top of our food chain by being the biggest or strongest. We made it by being stubborn, creative, and absolutely ruthless when protecting our pack. She gestured to Zixthon without taking her eyes off the captain. This is my friend. She's under my protection, and human protection. Sarah's smile was all teeth, no warmth. Well, ask the Terran predators how that worked out for them. The captain's species had done their research on humans, as any good predator should. They knew about humanity's history, the endless wars, the extinction of Earth's megafauna, the remarkable ability to turn any material into a weapon. but knowing intellectually and facing it personally were very different things. Around the cantina, other predator species were backing away from their table. A pack of Rixian hunters suddenly found pressing business elsewhere. The Corvani slavers, at the back table, quietly settled their tab and left. Even the bartender's hand moved subtly toward the panic button that would summon station security. "Of course," Sarah continued, her tone still conversational. "I'm just one human. You might be thinking you could take me." She shrugged. "Maybe you could, but here's what would happen next." She pulled out her comm unit and held it up. This little device connects to the human freight network, thousands of ships, covering every trade route in this sector. And humans, well, we're tribal creatures. Hurt one of us, threaten our friends, and word spreads. Fast. The captain's breathing had become audible, a low rumble of uncertainty. Within a day, every human ship would have your biosignatures, your ship's registry, your crew roster. We'd share it with our allies too. And humans make friends easily when we want to. The Veltar, the Zanari Collective, even some of the more reasonable Korthak clans who've learned the value of human partnership. Sarah took another step closer, and the massive pirate actually backed up a half step. You'd never dock safely again. Never refuel without watching your back. Never sleep without wondering if today's the day the humans come to collect. Because we're patient, Captain. We can wait decades for payback. It's another one of our charming species traits. The silence in the cantina was absolute. Even the station's air recyclers seemed to pause. "So," Sarah concluded, sliding her hands into her pockets with casual confidence, "I'm going to finish my drink with my friend. You and your crew are going to leave, and everyone goes home happy. Sound good?" The Korthak captain stared at her for a long moment, his predator's instincts warring with his survival sense. Finally, survival won. He gestured sharply to his crew. "This station has poor selection anyway," he growled, trying to salvage some dignity as they retreated. As the pirates left, conversations gradually resumed throughout the cantina, though many patrons continued to eye Sarah with new respect and wariness. Zixthan looked up at her human friend with wonder. "How did you do that? You never raised your voice or drew a weapon." Sarah sat back down and took a sip of her drink. "Sometimes the most dangerous weapon is a reputation. Humans have been building ours for 50,000 years. She smiled at Zixthan, and this time it was warm and genuine. "Besides, that's what friends do. We look out for each other." In the depths of space, word spread through the networks of a dozen species. The humans were still newcomers, still small in number, still learning the ways of the galaxy. But they were loyal to their friends and absolutely terrifying to their enemies. It was a reputation that would serve humanity well in the stars.